Hey, how y'all doing? I'm VBeautiful. Today is July 11th, 2025 on the Gregorian calendar. How y'all doing? It is bedtime. However, I've had a very busy day with myself and with some of my offspring. And I've done several videos already today. And it just seems to be, I guess, because of the 11th, an energetic time. Um, and so because I haven't posted a lot, I am in the mood to post now. So, if any of you who don't like my bedtime appearance, y'all don't have to watch. But if you stay, I appreciate it. So, um, what's on my mind right now and my heart is this. And it's about supporters. Now, everybody that I support don't support me, and that's okay. Um, that's okay. Only in the sense that you're dealing with beings that have their own reasons why they won't support you. But let me go to a little backstory of how I wound up on social media in the first place. Now, let's see, I'm bring this down a little bit. Okay. Now, I had no intentions to become a part of the social media scene. I used to watch one of my daughters, and she used to always be uh, in someone else's chat or, somebody else's chat. And I didn't know what it's called chat at the time, but she used to always be over there complaining and fussing. I'm like, what? Like, who are you talking to? Like, who are you talking to? And she said, Mama, these people are just, and she would give all kind of verbiages, explanations, and descriptions of how the people were talking, how they made her felt, and what they were saying, how she just described how some things that they were saying didn't make sense. But I'm like, but that's not your, they ain't talking to you directly. So why are you over there? Why are you bothered? And and at the time, she didn't even have a platform. We were back living at New York still. Um, we were living at New York. And I used to just always be just so, I would get flustered at her being frustrated. I'm like, you don't have to watch that. Why are you working yourself up for somebody else's dramas or opinions? You don't have to do that. But she still did. And I still was annoyed from time to time. But after what happened in 2019, and I did kind of a little story on this before, I got on YouTube in 2020 because my job went out of business. They closed down in 2020. In 2019, they shut down at the end of 2019. And guess what happened? I got a little job after that, but it wasn't nothing that was to last. But then still, in 2020, everything was shut down. So I was drawing. I did begin to draw unemployment, and when I So I located. I didn't want to stay where I was, so I left New York and moved back home, back south. Um, and so I said, well, how can I make some, how can I, I'm thinking about how can I take care of myself, even though I had, relatives down here. Like I didn't want to really mooch on anybody. And so how can I take care of myself? So I said, well, let me give myself a try at this social media. That's how I wound up on social media, on YouTube. When you sign up for Google, they automatically give you a free YouTube, platform. And that's how I got started. So, but I wanted to say I'm starting out with social medias because I said in the beginning that everyone you support don't support you. Okay. But first of all, I forgot something. Give yourselves a hug and a kiss. As I give myself a hug and a kiss. And share it out to everybody. And let's do a digital hug. We ain't do that in a while. Let's share it out to each other in this digital world. And let's share it out to the world around us, to our planet that can also use some love and some hugs. And share it out to the people on our planet who would like to receive it. Okay, and be beautiful again. So yeah, so I started out as V's Vibes. I didn't see anybody with that title, so I started out with V's Vibes. Then I saw later on I saw somebody took the same thing, so I said, well, let me change it to something else. So this is how I came up with VBeautiful. VBeautiful. And I've seen other people do some stuff with that too, but I said, let me leave that. That's what it is, VBeautiful, aka V's Vibes at times. But officially, it's basically VBeautiful. And now there's another title to it too, V La Ruth. And I ain't gonna tell you how that happened. It involved one of my offspring. Is why I got that, but that's what happened. And if y'all see this video freezing up, for those of you who are into astronomy, and the planetary rotations and things like that, and cycles, we are in a cycle right now of Mercury, the shadow of Mercury. Mercury is a planet or a sphere of communication, an energy of communication. And what it does is it begins to delay things, which means, things start to become delayed. Whether your memory becomes delayed, you can't think of things right away. Whether you may put things aside, where you may misplace them. It also affects your digital communications because Mercury is the planet of communication. So what I've been find happening is that my videos have been glitching, like they jump as if they're moving. So I'm not a robot, y'all. It's it's the energy just glitching in a frequency, or the energy field. So for those who are into astronomy, that's what that is. And when I say it affects your digital, that means it's going to affect your phones. It affects your cars. Anything dealing with communications, anything dealing with communications, even you, is going to affect. So, and then also it is time when you're dealing with astrology, also, it's a time where people that you used to know, whether years ago or decades, years ago or even months ago, they come back into your life. It's like the retrograde is like it's like a revisiting of what you may have learned, or if you think you have gotten over something, over a person or people, you're tested by those people come back into your life. or someone that resembles them may come back into your life. But basically it's the person come back into your life to see if you've learned the lesson on when you say, well, I'm over it, I'm over that. But Mercury says, really? All right, we're gonna recycle that back into your life. We're gonna bring that back over here, and we're gonna see if you truly are done with the situation, if you've learned something, if you moved on, or if you found out you didn't learn, and this is why it's revisiting, so you can do some more um, um, upgrading on yourself. All right, for those who enjoyed that, that's what that's for. For those who didn't understand it or understand it or understand it because it was too outstanding for you, maybe you can look up some of that information for yourself. All right, so now back to this. All right, so I found out, like, I tried some things. I have platforms. I learned playlists. I started out with exercising. It's with exercise playlists. It's like Pilates, yoga kind of thing. So I have that as one of my playlists. And y'all, I ain't been on anything in so long. It's called Let's Stretch, y'all. Let's Stretch, y'all. So that's one of my playlists. Then I have spontaneous meals. I have relationships. I have just talking. And what's the other one? The other one I had was a fun day time. I mean, it's just fun day time. So those are the platforms, the playlists that I have. And yeah. And so if y'all want to visit any of those playlists, please feel free to do so. And because I keep getting these new phones, because the other phones are not, whatever happens with these upgrades on these phones and these updates, stuff be changing over and the features be changing over. Stores be eaten up by these updates, and I gotta get new phones. So, and when you get new phones, stuff get lost. And also when you get new phones, stuff gets shuffled around. So now I can't see my playlist. I see my playlist of stuff that's private, but I don't see my playlist to where y'all can go over and click on it. So now I gotta find out how to freaking bring that back. And that's what was, I guess, what annoyed me about some of the things that I saw on social media. That there was just so much stuff going on and so much stuff. Now I love editing, and I always wanted to do film, and it's kind of like a little class into filming. But when they keep changing things around and editing and editors, and they keep updating this and updating that and upgrading this and upgrading that, want you to run after stuff, I'm not gonna run after it. I'm not running after it. So I'll be stagnant here for a little while, and that's what it is. Because when I had people supporting me when I first started, it was taking off. Then all of a sudden, they introduce these algorithms that start slowing your stuff down to where you don't get as much hits like you used to where now they want to guide people over to, like, no, they suggest you have played, they suggest what you watch or who watches you. I'm like, that's not authentic, that's not organic like it used to be. And so that became something else that also has perturbed me about social media. I'm not monetized. So when I first got on social media, go back to that, I got on with the thoughts that I could get monetized as to start a living for myself with doing those playlists that I just described to you, giving out some of my energy. But it hasn't turned out that way. I'm growing very slowly. Like I said, I've been on about 4 or 5 years, and I am thankful. Let me say I am thankful to all the supporters who are coming on. I now have 82. And that's no small number to me, because I could still be at 0. And so it lets me know, and I get a lot of views. Because I can see it on my about page how many views I get, but just the the likes, those things are not there for whatever reason. But as I say, y'all grown peoples. You like what you like, you don't like what you don't like, and so you don't have to hit no kind of buttons. And I like it that way because it is organic and authentic for me. I don't want anyone pretending to like something that they don't like. And so I don't mind growing slowly. And I'm not in the mindset of being monetized anymore because a lot of people have, it has changed a whole lot of people's lives around them where when they were getting monetized, um, um, they start, their money start to drop to where like they gotta work harder. And I said, I'm not, that's not me. I'm not doing it. I'm on here to inspire and to be inspired and to aspire. Be aspiring. And share some messages that may, support someone in their life. May help them see a different viewpoint on things that they may not have seen before. And this is why I support some people. I kind of resound with some things that they're saying, and so I support them. So the purpose of this video really is to say that I start off by saying those who you support will not necessarily support you back. Now they will be inspired by your videos, but you won't be supported by them back. And like I said, that's okay because just because you support someone else and you like their videos doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna like yours back. And so I found that I have a lot of people that I support, but I don't get the same support back from them. And sometimes I support just to support, just because they're new, and I support just to support, just to give them that start. But what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start putting my more energy back into myself, and just start pouring just focusing more on myself and the messages that I want to give out. So I'm still going to support those channels, but I'm not going to be I'm not going to neglect my platform to do so. And because like I said, it's just, it's eye-opening to a lot of things. It's just eye-opening, and like I said, it's only thing I want to do is to be authentically me, be secure in me, what I want to bring to people, and maybe they can see, by me coming on the way I come on. Some people may not like the way I come on. Like I said, no one has to stay here and watch. There are so many different platforms and channels that people have, and they're free to go over there. But I'm not gonna change. I think I've done enough changing for people who didn't appreciate me, and I'm in the energy now. I'm going to appreciate myself more and how I'm comfortable. And to say, getting to know me, getting to know all about me. The phrase is, we always in an evolution stage. For those of us who, for me, let's say it this way. I've come through some things that have been very painful, and a lot of us have. And I'm still like some things I know I've done some great healing on, and some things are still ongoing. Some things you will probably never, probably hardly ever be totally healed, because there's some things that you can't change. But this is what I realized about myself years ago. The things that I didn't like about myself, whether they were put upon me by others or society, by relatives, and where I in turn began to put things on myself. I didn't like how I was treating myself, how I was being treated, and I didn't like in turn how I was treating others. So you have choices. You can stay in the energy of, well, I've been this way for so long, so therefore I'm even though I know that I need to work on some things with me, and I know that they could be a bothersome to people. I'm not gonna bother with changing anything, because you know what, it just, I've been this way for so long, and everyone is entitled to that. But for me, and for some people, some people may think that there's nothing they have to work on at all, and and it's good that people see themselves in that way, if they're not inflicting harm or injury on anyone. Then if you ain't got nothing else to work on, then you're as close to perfection as perfection can be, however that looks. So, for me, the things that I did not like that I didn't like about me, I had to work on, because I did not want to be an individual. I did not want to be someone who knew they had an issue with themselves, knew they had a problem with having even self-empathy for oneself, not liking oneself, and projecting it on others. Your children, your offspring, I mentioned before in many videos past. Some people who you may consider acquaintances, and when I seen those things in myself, of course, I don't want to be someone who's comfortable in that. Once something is being shown to me, or revealed to me, or open to me, that I'm now gonna sit here and say to myself, oh well, I don't like how I am, but I've been this way for too long, and even though I know I hurt people, I'm just not gonna change. And to me, that'd be for me. That'd be for me to be doing a disservice for myself and to others. Because once the spirit or the unseen shows you something, because somewhere in you you've been wanting to change, and you've been wanting the support. So once you have, it's been shown to you, and you have the choice to now do something about it, and you choose not to, you can no longer have an excuse as to why you're the way you are. You can no longer have an excuse as to why people treat you the way they treat you. And you can no longer have an expectation to be treated better than you're treating yourself or others. And if you have the expectation that you should be treated better than you're treating others, and you're not treating them that giving them the same respect, you really do have some karmic lessons coming. because for me, I'm not gonna wanna. I don't want to injure someone, knowing that I have a chance to uplift myself, to alter things in myself, to change some things about me, work on it. And I'm not gonna be, and maybe people are lazy, but that's still not gonna be an excuse when you have to reap what you sow. If you choose not to change how you are, the things that are about you that you don't like, and you know that may be hurting others, you ain't got no excuse when it's time for you to reap what you sow, what you've sown. And you have no one to blame but yourself. But some people who don't want to work on themselves, who don't want to be empathetic with themselves or be sympathetic with themselves, who want to be blind like they to themselves, like to blame others for why they're the way they are. And even though, like we said, people do contribute how we grew up to how we the way we are. Only one still can make a difference in you is you. Only one who can make that change, like Michael Jackson said, make that change is you. The man or the woman in the mirror. You got the power to make that change. And so with that said, I think that's a good way to leave it here. Don't do yourself a disservice. Don't cheat yourself out of love for yourself and for others. And for others to want to be around you and love you, don't cheat yourself out of that. Make that change. Thank you for keeping me company on this. After this here, I'm gonna go and get myself in the bed. But I just want to free this off of me for a moment, release this and share it out to those that it may help or may support. So with that said, enjoy where you are on this planet, east, west, south, north. Take care.